Indonesia, an archipelago of over 17,000 islands, is a nation of unparalleled natural beauty, with its diverse ecosystems ranging from dense rainforests to pristine beaches. It stands as one of the world's most biodiverse countries. But amidst this natural splendor lies a growing crisis that threatens not only Indonesia, but the entire planet.
All these problems are started from the most metropolitan city in Indonesia, Jakarta. My name is Electronical Engineering Sergeant Cadet Jalasena from Indonesia Naval Academy, and this is Greener Jakarta.
Indonesia is home to the world's largest expanse of tropical rainforest, vital for regulating the Earth's climate and harboring an incredible array of plant and animal species. However, this precious resource is under constant threat due to deforestation driven by factors such as logging, agriculture, and palm oil productions. Nowhere is the impact of environmental degradations more apparent than in the bustling metropolis of Jakarta. Once a city known for its vibrant culture and thriving communities, Jakarta now grapples with a myriad of environmental challenges. Pollution levels in Jakarta have reached alarming heights, with air quality often plummeting to hazardous levels. The burning of fossil fuels, industrial emissions, and widespread waste mismanagement contribute to this toxic smoke, posing serious health risks to the city's residents. In recent years, Jakarta has faced significant challenges with air pollution, impacting the health and well-being of its residents according to the data from the World Air Quality Index.
Jakarta frequently experiences poor air quality with high levels of particulate matter 2.5 with other pollutants.
One report by the Greenpeace showed East Asia an air visual analysis in 2019 ranked Jakarta as one of the most polluted cities in the world in terms of air quality. The study indicated that Jakarta's air quality exceeded the World Health Organization's recommended guidelines for particulate matter 2.5 concentrations, which are particularly concerning due to their ability to penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream, causing respiratory and cardiovascular issues. Factors contributing to Jakarta's air pollution include vehicular emissions from high volume of traffic, industrial activities, construction dust, open burning of waste, and the burning of fossil fuels for energy productions. Additionally, Jakarta's geographical locations and weather patterns can exacerbate pollution levels, especially during periods of stagnant air and haze from the forest fires. Efforts to address air pollution in Jakarta include measures such as vehicle emission standards, the promotion of public transportation, green spaces, and urban greening initiatives. However, continued effort and collaborating between government agencies, industries, and the community are essential to improving air quality and protecting public health in Jakarta.
Being one of the fastest sinking cities on the planet.
It's sinking. North Jakarta will be underwater by...
This city is sinking.
Its vulnerability to flooding is another pressing issue exacerbated by urbanizations and climate change. The city's rapid expansion has led to the destructions of natural flood barriers, such as mangrove forests, while inadequate infrastructure fails to cope with seasonal monsoons and rising sea levels. Flooding is a recurring issue in Jakarta, with various factors contributing to its severity and frequency.
Some key causes of flooding in Jakarta include
Heavy rainfall. Jakarta experiences intense rainfall during the monsoon season, typically from November to March. The city's flat topography and inadequate drainage systems make it prone to flooding, especially when rainfall exceeds the capacity of existing infrastructure to manage water runoff.
rapid urbanization.
Jakarta's rapid urbanization has led to extensive land conversion, including the drainage of wetlands and destructions of natural water absorption areas such as rivers, streams, and floodplains. This loss of natural flood barriers reduces the city's resilience to flooding events. Subsidence. Jakarta is sinking at an alarming rate due to excessive groundwater extraction, uncontrolled development, and the weight of urban infrastructure. This phenomenon, known as land subsidence, exacerbates flooding by causing land to sink below sea level, increasing vulnerability to inundations during high tides and storm surges. Poor infrastructure. Jakarta's drainage infrastructure is outdated and insufficient to cope with the city's growing populations and urban sprawl. Clogged drains, illegal encroachments on waterways, and inadequate maintenance exacerbate flooding problems, particularly in densely populated areas. Climate change. Rising sea levels and changing weather patterns associated with climate change pose additional challenges for Jakarta. Sea level rise increases the risk of coastal flooding and saltwater intrusions into freshwater sources, while erratic rainfall patterns can lead to more intense and unpredictable flooding events. Efforts to address flooding in Jakarta include the constructions of flood control infrastructure such as reservoir, retention ponds, and embankments, as well as improvements to drainage systems and urban planning measures to enhance resilience to flooding. However, addressing the root causes of flooding such as unsustainable land use practices and groundwater extractions remains a complex and ongoing challenge for the city.
Collaborating between government agencies, urban planners, community stakeholders, and environmental experts is crucial for implementing effective long-term solutions to mitigate flooding in Jakarta.
Traffic congestion is a daily ordeal for Jakarta's inhabitants, with millions of vehicles clogging the city's arteries. The resulting emissions not only worsen air quality, but also contribute to carbon emissions, further fueling climate change. Yet, amidst these challenges, there is hope. By taking decisive actions, we can work towards a sustainable future for Jakarta and beyond.
As of my last update, the government of Jakarta has implemented several measures to address air pollution in the city. These measures include:
First, vehicle emission standards. Jakarta has adopted stricter vehicle emission standards to reduce pollution from vehicles. The city has implemented regulations requiring vehicles to undergo emissions testing and adhere to certain emission standards. Additionally, efforts have been made to phase out older, more polluting vehicles from the city's road. Second, promotions of public transportations. The government has prioritized the development and promotions of public transportation systems, such as buses, commuter trains, and mass rapid transit (MRT) lines, by encouraging residents to use public transportation instead of private vehicles. The aim is to reduce traffic congestions and vehicle emissions in the city. Third, green initiatives. Jakarta has initiated various green projects aimed at improving air quality and reducing pollution. These initiatives include the development of green spaces such as parks and urban forests, as well as the implementations of urban greening programs to increase vegetation cover in the city. Fourth, air quality monitoring. The government of Jakarta has established air quality monitoring stations across the city to track pollution levels and provide real-time data to the public. This information helps raise awareness about air quality issues and enables authorities to take timely actions to address pollution's hotspot. Fifth, environmental regulations. Jakarta has implemented regulations and policies to regulate industrial emissions, waste management practices, and other sources of pollution. These regulations aim to reduce pollution levels and improve environmental quality in the city. Despite these efforts, challenges remain in tackling air pollution in Jakarta. including the need for stricter enforcement of regulations. Investment in sustainable transportations, infrastructure, and addressing underlying issues such as rapid urbanizations and industrializations. Continued collaboration between government agencies, businesses, civil society organizations, and the public is essential for achieving long-term improvements in air quality and protecting public health in Jakarta. The government of Jakarta has implemented various measures to manage and mitigate the city's flooding problem. Some of these measures include: first, flood control infrastructure. Jakarta has invested in the construction of flood control infrastructure, including retention ponds, reservoirs, embankments, and floodgates. These structures help regulate water flow, reduce flood risk, and protect vulnerable areas from inundation during heavy rainfall events. Second, river normalizations. The government has undertaken efforts to normalize and rehabilitate rivers and waterways in Jakarta. This includes dredging, widening, and deepening rivers to improve their capacity to accommodate water flow and reduce the risk of overflow during periods of heavy rain. Third, flood early warning systems. Jakarta has implemented flood early warning systems to provide timely alerts to residents and authorities about impending flood events. These systems use a combination of sensors, monitoring stations, and communications networks to detect rising water levels and issue warnings to at-risk communities. Fourth, community-based flood preparedness. The government has engaged local communities in flood preparedness and response efforts. This includes conducting public awareness campaigns, training communities volunteers in emergency response procedures, and establishing community-based flood monitoring and evacuation plans. Fifth, urban planning and land use regulations. Jakarta has introduced urban planning measures and land use regulations to mitigate flood risk and prevent further encroachment in flood-prone areas. These measures include zoning restrictions, building codes, and land use planning policies aimed at preserving natural floodplains and green spaces.
Sixth, climate change adaptations. Recognizing the impact of climate change on flooding patterns, Jakarta has incorporated climate change adaptation strategies into its flood management plans. This includes measures such as incorporating climate resilience into infrastructure design, developing climate-smart urban development strategies, and enhancing water management practices to cope with changing rainfall pattern and sea level rise.
Despite these efforts, Jakarta continues to face significant challenges in managing its flooding problems, exacerbated by factors such as rapid urbanizations, land subsidence, and inadequate infrastructure. Continued investment in flood control infrastructure, improved urban planning practices, community engagement, and climate change adaptation measures are crucial for building resilience to flooding and protecting the city's residents and infrastructure from future flood events. Investing in clean energy solutions and improving public transportations are key steps toward reducing pollution and congestion in Jakarta. Implementing green infrastructure such as rooftop gardens and permeable pavements can help mitigate flooding while beautifying the cityscape. From embracing renewable energy to promoting waste reductions and recycling, there are countless ways individuals, communities, and policymakers can contribute to positive change. Across Jakarta, grassroots movements are springing up, advocating for environmental awareness and action. From tree planting, drive to beach cleanups, these initiatives demonstrate the power of collective effort in safeguarding our planet's future. Together, we can build a greener, healthier future for Jakarta and all of Indonesia. Let us unite in our commitment to preserving the natural wonders of this beautiful archipelago for generations to come.